Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I guess United States doesn't have to be involved in a hot war with anybody because it seems like its military decimates itself by how many cases of suicide it has. So let's see here, this article talks about the number of military members who committed suicide in 2021. Well, I'm surprised by the number. This article comes from Sputnik from today, the 20th of October 2022. I was about to say 2025. Because over 500 US military members commit suicide in 2021, upward trend since 2011, Pentagon reported. A total of 519 US military service members committed suicide in 2021 in continuation of the upward trend since 2011, according to a report published by the US Department of Defense on Thursday. So, out of 519 who died by suicide in 2021, 328 were active duty members, 74 were in reserve, and 117 were in National Guard, according to the report. 117 in the National Guard. Anyway, between 2011 and 2021, there is a gradual increasing trend in suicide rates among active component service members and no increasing or decreasing trend for the Reserve and National Guard. However, the 2021 suicide rate for the active component was lower than 2020, the report said. The report also noted that between 2011 and 2020, military suicide rates were similar to the US population in most years. The suicide rate per 100,000 in 2021 was 24.3, for active duty members 21.2, for those in reserve, and 26.4 among National Guards, according to the report. The majority, 93% on average, of service members in all three groups who committed suicide in 2021 were male, white Americans, aged 20 to 24 years, the report also said. So 93% were white male Americans, 93%. Well, first question, were they married? Because that matters a lot. Oh man, I don't know. The married ones were the ones that did not commit suicide because they didn't have to go to their wives. So they go, whoo, I'm going back in the mission, baby doll, stay home, woo, let's party. And the ones who are not married were, oh my God, I don't have anybody to run from. Anyway, it's funny but not funny. Let's say 500 people in a year. Well, you can say, well, it's not that much, but still, I wonder why. Because they're not in a war zone, that's the first thing, but it's the same as the population. Mostly, a lot of people have mental health issues and they're over-medicated. And I know that from people that I interact with. And I interact with a lot of people. And I have to, in one of my capacities, I have to ask this question when I speak with a lot of people, and they will tell me. And I can tell you that the proportion is, in the women's side, is about, I would say, between 80 and 90. Let's say 85% of the women are, maybe 90, I would say, I'd say medicated for depression, anxiety, PTSD, things like this, bipolar disorder, and ADD, ADHD, things like this. Now, men, on the other hand, I find about 40, 30%, maybe not even, 20% who report that they have diagnostics like schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD or ADD, and they have, as I said, bipolar. They have not anxiety and depression. That's a female trend with the people that I'm talking to, and I have to discuss certain things. So I'm assuming that's, and the women in proportion of 95% are medicated, prescribed medication, which is drugs given by a legal dealer. That's what it's a doctor nowadays. Depression, anxiety, they give you Xanax, just like this. Adderall for ADHD or whatever they give you over there. You have a problem with focus, take some ADHD. You're gonna have focus that you work like crazy. So that's something that I saw in women. Now in men, not many get medication. If they say the cases that I had with people that are medicated and not medicated, that they are medicated, they are really bad, like really bad, with all kind of very bad diagnostics, and schizophrenia is one of them, where they will have certain kind of medication. Seizures, that's what I have the seizures. That's another one that would have, but that's a different story. So I think that the U.S. Also has a little bit of a lax policy in admitting people in the military, from what I read, in admitting even people with mild mental health issues, but who knows. The information on the military is again from the articles that I read, the information I got, not direct experience with military personnel. Nevertheless, I don't see, from what I know, when I was in Romania, I know that if you had the mildest, first, it was different then. A person over there who had a mental illness was maybe, let's say, in the whole neighborhood, maybe none. You would hear one in, let's say, in a whole school of, let's say, 2,500 children, maybe one had a mental problem here and there, but one out of so many children. And the adults, I don't remember people being, diagnosed with diagnostic of whatever, they were called crazies, so crazy, not mental health issues, crazy people. Not many, maybe in a whole city, in a whole town, city, it was about what? Let's say, like 150,000 people. There were, I don't know, 100 maybe, that were in a clinic. I know that because I visited a clinic one time in a capacity with my mother, who was a medical personnel. So I went over there and I paid a visit, and anyway, it was bad. Those were really those ones that are like, like this, and not like functional individuals. So I know that if you would have the mildest mental health issues in Romania, you would not go to the military whatsoever. No ADHD or something. What do you mean you had ADHD and you give or ADD, you got a weapon and you have to focus? Hey, hey, no, you can't have that. But I don't know how mild or how severe it should be. So I'm not surprised that these guys, when they get a gun or whatever they get, because they don't tell you the means of suicide, overdose or lethal weapon or whatever they do, car crash or something. But it's sad. It's sad. I would not, obviously, have a mental illness with a medication. I have a little problem with medication to start with, and on top of that, giving someone a weapon, not even in the real world, you can't have it. If you have mental health issues, you're not going to be issued a gun. So it depends again on the gravity. So sorry to hear this, and I think they should not be provided weapons, or at least in the military. Moreover, you have to be with weapons. If you're not given a weapon and you drive a truck, or you give food, or you just dig trenches here and there, you transport this, it's a different story. But when you say military, you don't go over there to drive a truck and load and unload. Otherwise, you're just an employee. So, thank you very much for being with me today again. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.